All right, we've got Gabriel in Shellsburg looking for work all over the place the same day he left. Spent the night at a basketball court, spent the next night doing his, behind a building. He said, now enter a hero. A guy named, he thinks Bill or Tim, the owner of the Shawnee Motel, and 81 years old, and he helped Gabriel out. And that's where he was able to stay the next night. And he even took, I'm going to let Gabriel tell you about this. I'm going to let him go as long as he wants. I can cut these short.
So the guy at the Shawnee Motel, very nice guy. I believe his name was Bill or Tim. I believe his wife's name was Laura. If you go, literally the motel closest to Shawnee Market and all that Shellsburg area, that's the guy. If you see him, glasses, bit chubby, not bit tall, and 80, very old. That's the guy. Very amazing guy. I really recommend that motel. Very amazing. Very good. Perfect. Everything you would need. But he gave me a place. He gave me a night to stay, and a very refreshing night. Because in my dad's land, I was just using a bucket, just to wash myself, and it was very nice because it was. He gave me a place. He gave me a place to stay with for a night, and it had a shower. It had a microwave. He gave me a little bit of food, very good, very great. And then the morning afterwards, he gave me we put everything in his truck. Everything I had in the wheelbarrow, a lot of stuff, not a lot of stuff, but stuff that I needed to survive the winter, and a whole cooler of canned food, a lot of like 20 pounds of canned food, and pretty much he took me to Shellsburg, Bedford Library. I asked the Bedford Library, hey, that morning, I believe he gave me $20. That morning, I asked everywhere around in Bedford. I asked everywhere, and then I asked the library
For work.
For work. I asked everybody. I'm telling you, man. I was bothering just random people. Just, hey, do you know a place I could work at? Just apply anywhere. They're looking at me weird. I'm like, okay, I'm just looking for a place to work. And I don't care. I don't care if they think I'm weird. Eventually, one of them will give me a straight answer. And some people did say, there's a place right here. There's a place right here. I was calling everywhere. I would just go on Google Maps, and every store or every business that had a number, I would just call them. But as I'm doing that, I get a call around. So he dropped me off in the morning, like around 8. And I wander around Bedford for like a couple hours. And around 11, I think, I got a call from the Dollar General in Osterburg. And pretty much they told me like, hey, we saw that you applied for the one in Shellsburg. Do you want to apply for this one? Do you want to interview for this one? If you come here at 3, we can interview you. And I thought to myself, okay, yes. And I tried to, I did everything possible to try to get from Bedford Library to the Osterburg Dollar General. And that journey, I'm like, okay, first place that called me, okay, I'm going. I took my wheelbarrow, I did it, everything, and I just went, I just did it, and I passed the whole. I walked up that one hill, passed through Value, or around there. I walked past the Penguin. Some cops stopped me around the Penguin ice cream place. There's a place called the Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably heard of it, but
yeah.
Pretty much some cops stopped me right before there in a dealership. Hey, are you okay? There's something. I'm like, I don't have to show ID or nothing because you don't have to, but I'm like, just here, the ID, just do hurry up. I gotta do it. I gave them everything they wanted. Just, hey, what? Yes. Here's another ID. Here's another Social Security, whatever you want, you know, just so I could keep going to go to a Dollar General, you know. And I did. I'm telling you, man, every step counted. You know, that day was probably one of the. I'm a pretty good athlete, you know. I mean, I consider myself an athlete, pretty strong. I mean, I do a lot of jobs. I like exercising, you know, and you know, I'm a pretty strong guy. But this was killing me. This was very. I had to focus. Every step had to be accounted. I had to make sure every stride was really as wide like as possible, you know, just to make sure I made as much distance as just to make sure. And pretty much, I mean, I did this, and I pushed that wheelbarrow really far. And at some point, I realized I'm not gonna make it. I'm just not gonna make it. You know, it's however much you have to drive from Bedford Library to Osterberg Dollar General. At some point, I wasn't gonna make it. You know, I wasn't gonna make it. I realized that, and I called like, "Hey, I'm having car problems." You know, I'm lying to the guys if I have a vehicle. You know, and then they're like, "Okay, well, we could just interview you at Friday," and I'm like, "Okay, interview Friday, good." And then pretty much, you know, okay, but I'm still gonna get there. I'm still gonna get there at the Osterberg. I'm still gonna get there. So, but as I was like 200 feet away from the Fisher Market country store, I met a guy named Jason Miller, good guy, and he pretty much asked me like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Are you?" And I forgot to mention right before, like I asked him like a couple feet before, you know, he asked some guy gave me $20. Another guy
stopped
stopped
along the road and
another guy gave me $20. So you know, I was pretty good, you know. I forgot to mention that first night I spent like $7 on a tarp and like some stuff that I needed from the store to survive, you know, like a lighter and stuff like that, you know, or you know, or some food or something, you know. But pretty much, I mean, you know, I had $45 to my name when I met Jason Miller, and he's a pretty good guy. And pretty much, I mean, I just, you know, I did everything possible to try to get to Osterberg Library, and
you know, Jason, I know him, and maybe that's a good place to stop because he was like an angel
Oh yeah,
for you. So let's stop right there.
Mm-hmm.